everyone, and welcome back to the Baron's Hideout podcast. I'm Anna.
I'm Dustin.
And I'm coked up.
Yeah.
With Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Okay. Not that
That's
booger
a-
sugar.
Booger sugar?
Not the devil's dandruff, right? Like, you're talking about
No.
Coca-Cola. Okay.
Yeah.
Nah, orange cream only, man.
Fancy.
Oh.
Oh, Big D drinking out of his Baron's cup.
Oh, yeah. I'm just thirsty right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's being adorable today.
Just having a little sipple.
Yeah, just...
Oh, man.
Okay, guys, we are into April now. We have had theme months every month of this new year, 2025. We're finally into just some like open territory, free roam, if you will. We were all just like, this is what I was thinking. Well, this is what I was thinking. Fuck it, let's just do it. So we're kind of all over the place this month with picks, and I like it. I'm digging it.
Me too.
I got the first pick this month, and I decided to go with The Ruins from 2008. And this came out the year after I graduated high school. I read the book. Yeah, it's a long ass time ago.
I graduated in 2012. Oh.
Yeah, I graduated 07. So this was I actually read this book, and my Nana and Pap, like, were avid readers. Like, they would finish one book and start a next one. Like, back when I grew up, when the Harry Potter books were coming out, and when they did midnight releases for them, like, my papa, bless his heart, would stay up until midnight and wait for me at Books A Million, pay for my book, you know, and it was just like an event. Like, they loved reading and loved it. I loved it too. But they read stuff like James Patterson, Danielle Steele. Like, they weren't really into horror or anything. But every now and then I would find some like stashed, like in their little library collection. And The Ruins happened to be one of them, oddly enough. So I found it. The cover was really plain, but I don't know, it just kind of appealed to me, and it's one of those I just kind of sat down and started reading, and I ended up finishing it. And then I think not too long after that, I don't know, a couple years maybe later, because I read it in high school. So that's once I was out, I saw that the movie was coming out, and I was like, oh shit, you know, I read that book not too long ago. But it's, for some reason, it popped up on my radar again. I don't know if I maybe saw a clip or it was released, like there was an anniversary or something, but I'd been wanting to revisit it because it was one I don't think I've watched since then. And I didn't remember it being a favorite, but this is one of those movies where I watched when I was younger and I did not fully appreciate for what it is, which we will get into.
Sure.
Before we jump into that, I do have Rotten Tomatoes pulled up, fellas.
Yeah.
Okay, tomato time.
Quick, throw tomatoes at Anna.
No, please don't.
Somebody animate this. Tomatoes.
I know. Okay, so out of 97 critic reviews,
Oh.
Lil D, what do you think they rated The Ruins?
Oof. It says 2008, right?
Yes.
And it was released in theaters?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, dude. The fucking star power behind this movie.
Yeah, it's really like a who's who of young actors in the early 2000s.
I'm just going to shoot from the hip and say 67.
Big D?
How many reviews?
97.
97. All right. I'm going to shoot from my hip, and I'm going to say 74.
All right, we're pretty
Well,
close.
y'all are a little bit off. It's rotten at 51%.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll get into why I think that is when it's my turn.
Absolutely. So now, with over 250,000 audience reviews, I think now this is the biggest one we've had.
I
For
bet.
audience, I think so for sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
What do you guys think the audience rated The Ruins? Big D, we'll start with you this time.
I'm going to say...
Damn near 20 years.
Yeah. I'll say... I'm going to stick around where I was. I'm going to say 74.
Little D?
I'm gonna go way lower. I'm gonna go 32.
Damn, Little D, you were close. It's sadly rotten with the audience as well at 30%.
Whoa!
Even lower than the critics. So
Dang.
this is one of those odd ones. I side with the critics, even though it's low.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, Big D, we'll start with you. What kind of history do you have with this movie? Had you seen it before?
I don't. This is I'm going to pull an Anna. This is the beginning of my history with this movie.
Oh, this is exciting. Okay.
And it's mainly because I had zero desire to watch it. You know, because you
That's
brought
fair.
this up about something brought it to light to you again to want to revisit it. And then in my brain, I had the Descent already. You know what I mean? So it's like,
That's fair.
I didn't need another cave dwelling movie, not knowing that that's not what it is until now. But yeah, I have zero history with it except for last night.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and we'll get into it, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Little D, what about you?
This is also my first watch.
Shut up. That
No.
makes me so happy.
There
Okay.
you go.
I
Twofer. I got a twofer.
obviously I've heard of this, right? I've heard of
Right.
the book, and I've heard
Of course.
of the movie. I think it was just one of those movies that, like, I saw the title when I was younger. I was like, the ruins? The fuck?
Right.
I'm not watching that. I want something with a little more oomph to it.
Were you allowed to watch it because there's titties in this movie?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She was fine, though. She
No, I'm
was
just
fine.
saying-
It was just enough where I was like,
I'm just
Okay.
saying, he's talking about being a child when we graduated high school. I'm like, you were
Oh,
allowed to
yeah.
watch this
Mommy,
shit?
I want to watch this movie, but it's got boobies in it. Is that okay?
so you were in like 8th grade. I'm sure you were like ready at that point. Like, yeah, boobs. I wanna see all the
Yeah.
boobs.
But I don't know if I'm just like thinking maybe this is what happened, but was this on the Sci-Fi Channel at all? Like with reruns or anything like that? 'Cause I think I
back
might have
then-
seen it.
Possibly, yeah.
Probably
I
going
could see
through
it being on
Sci-Fi.
there.
Yeah, very easily could have been in syndication.
But yeah, that's my history. It starts now.
Interesting. I'm excited.
There you go.
So, Big D, you kind of mentioned during Rotten Tomatoes that you felt like you understood why it had the rating it did. Do you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, The Descent.
Oh, that was it?
That
Oh,
was
okay.
it. Yeah, I feel like this movie, especially with it being coming out in 2008, with like you said earlier, it's got the who's who of teen actors in it. You know, like who's fucking hot right now type of thing. But it was following The Descent, The Cave. You know, it's just another one of those one word movies that you'd walk by this and see it in Blockbuster, and it'd probably be on the third shelf. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's why the critics were not too fond of it, and let alone the audience. You know, especially with how you said 250,000 plus.
Yeah.
It's pretty beefy.
Yeah, I feel like it's being held into comparison to other movies that are similar to it.
Yeah.
But when I was watching this last night, I was not digging it
Really? Okay. Yeah, tell us about the watch.
until the Mayan temple started happening.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, because it's very like it has kind of a hostile feel too at the start. Like
Yeah, it's
they're
got the-
Americans on vacation in a foreign country, being very American, and they're kind of being snobs, and it's hard to like them. It's hard to
You even
like
say
relate
that.
to them.
They're like American kids going on vacation and getting lost or whatever. Like that doesn't happen.
Dude,
So
I
they
wrote
kinda,
that.
Like, nodded
I wrote
at
that in my notes. Four Americans on a vacation don't just disappear. That's what he said. I was like, damn, you don't know yet. But sorry,
yeah,
Big D. Yeah.
No, exactly. But yeah, you have fucking Joe Anderson popping up in this, and are you familiar with him?
Yeah, absolutely. He was
With his-
in.
With his not shitty German accent in this.
Yeah. He's been the one that's come into my mind in the forefront is the 50 Shades of Grey movies.
Oh, really? That's not me. He's
What else has he been in? I've seen him in.
Across the Universe.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
He plays
yeah, I love
Max in
that.
Across the Universe. That's where I know him from. And then I seen him in something else after that. I want to say it was not Cabin Fever. It might have been this.
Oh,
Not
he
me
was in the
seeing this movie.
Oh, he was in the Crazies. He
The
was the
Crazies.
deputy.
Oh,
He
I had the
he
movie in the
was-
other
Yes.
room.
He was Timothy
Yes.
Oliphant's deputy.
Yes, but no, like Joe Anderson coming on screen, I was like, is that fucking him? Because when he talks with real bad German. Well, that's a Russian, but you know,
Yeah.
whatever.
Point
But
proven.
he calls them the Greeks, and I'm like, what are you? And but dude,
The
when
Greeks
he
are
walks
gonna
up,
come for us.
he goes, "I found earring." I'm like, how the fuck did you know that was hers?
Yeah, unless he
that's
overheard him.
He was in the pool over there. You know, it's like.
Yeah.
I was like, wait. I was like, okay, so maybe he has something to do with this. Like, he's part of the fucking problem. Which, you know, you brought up Hostel. You know, we seen nowadays we have Infinity Pool that does this.
Right.
Very like Americans coming into a different country thinking that they're hot fucking shit, and then they're put into this peril. But dude, like in this main girl, Amy, unlikable. From the jump.
Yeah.
And it sucks because all of her friends are awesome. You know, but no, I'm saying.
Well,
Well, go ahead.
I would say as much as I didn't really jive with her, freaking Jeff, bro. I was
Okay,
not.
let's talk about Jeff real quick because this is her supposed boyfriend, right?
Jonathan Tucker, I feel like, is one of the most underrated actors of our generation.
Dude,
He was in a lot of shit in the
He is
early
in
2000s,
the Texas Chainsaw remake that I think is better than the original.
Where's
He's
he at in
awesome
that?
in it. He's the guy with the glasses, the nerdy guy. The Army makes him put the gun in his mouth in the back seat of the truck.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, but no, like that's her supposed boyfriend, right? Like she's.
Yeah.
But got his school's 2,000 miles away. Let's see who she's gonna sleep with tonight. Fuck her.
Yeah. Fuck her. Fuck Amy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
But
do you
she
think?
ends up.
That's borderline.
Not as bad though, because
Okay, it's fair.
her and Jeff weren't married.
Sure.
They didn't have any kids.
Okay.
True. But it was
All right.
kind of implied that they were together since like high school, right?
They'd
In
been
the,
together
the
a
early
while.
like 2000s,
Well-
early 2000s, early 20s.
Yeah.
They talk about him playing the fucking trombone and band, and he's super
You're like,
bashful.
why'd
about
you bring that up? It's like, what the fuck? Dude,
To
why does
show
that
how
matter?
long they've known each other, to show how
Yeah.
Yeah.
she's teasing him, trying to showing their relationship, but also it implies that they've known each other since high school, that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
But I kind of
But
want to go. Oh, sorry, Anna. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say she ends up being our final girl, and it's also just like in Hostel. Our Jay Hernandez, he is so unlikable until the point where it's like we have to cheer for him because he's the survivor and he has to figure out a way to get out of there. And then it ends up kind of being the same way with this. Like she's the final girl, but
Yeah,
is she?
Yeah.
yeah. But
Well,
I wanted to ask you guys this real quick. Did you guys have subtitles
No, I didn't put them on. I
Oh,
usually
wait.
do, but this one I didn't.
for the
No,
people at
I
the
didn't.
people at the Mayan temple who were speaking Spanish?
Oh no, I didn't get any subtitles from them. No.
I just
No,
wanted to make
I
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anything.
Okay.
With where I watched this movie.
Right. No.
No, I
Okay.
think they were trying to do that to imply that maybe they're using a language that no one fucking knows.
Yeah, because he
Considered
says
Mayan.
they don't speak Spanish.
So I think they're trying to
okay.
imply that this is like a hidden village
Lost colony?
that's been there forever, that no one's been around. Because they even say, "Oh, this is like a place that no one's ever been to before. No one's ever been to these ruins. Let's go help them save their friends."
I
So they
know.
put themselves in this situation where they did not need to be. They're going to leave the next day, and they're like, "Well, we got to do something fun."
Yeah, you
It's
know
the
what?
whitest white person.
I was about to
shit.
say fucking white people, Anna.
Literally, this is something else I'm afraid of now. Like, I never want to go to the jungle. I don't want to go to anywhere where any kind of pyramids or temples are. I'm not Tomb Raider. Like, Amy had the right idea. She was hungover. She should have kept her ass in the hotel room, done something to make them stay. Like, offered something
Yeah.
else up. Then I'll just sleep all day. Because, honestly, if she would have stayed, she would have known that something was wrong and maybe tried to go get help. Or maybe she just would have wound up there and been in trouble too.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. Maybe she would have got a copy of the map because like the rest of the Greeks are passed out on the fucking beach.
Yeah.
One, that is the hottest place to fall asleep.
Yeah, they were really
Never,
plastered, man.
never would I fucking try to pass out on a beach, man.
No.
But yeah, I dig it. Like once they get to the temples, when shit starts to get really cool because we don't understand the peril that is happening or the situations because again we didn't have subtitles, so we don't know why they were being forced up this fucking Mayan temple.
Yeah.
And it was all because they stepped on this foliage, like the green that was growing. And when the first buddy gets the arrow to the chest, I sat up in my chair. I was like, okay. Okay. And then his face gets fucking blown off. I'm like, all right, here we go.
Strapped
good,
in,
but,
ready to go.
That CGI was just not it, man.
Oh, Dustin, I look.
It was
past
just
it,
like
dude.
a quick second, so it wasn't like
Yeah.
I know it's
awful.
like early to late 2000s, but I don't know. But I just wanted to go back and just kind of touch on like my first impressions before we lead into like some of like the bigger parts.
Yeah.
Is this movie is very slow. It's extremely slow. And they try to give you these characters for you to sort of kind of care about, but they kind of bring you into a situation where how am I supposed to like these people when they're at like a pool party or whatever it may be, like their last day of vacation, and it's like I can't connect to these almost college student people, and they're like saying, "Oh, we got to go home," and "Oh, someone's missing something," blah blah blah. Because I've seen this so many times before, and I feel like this is like this a syndrome of like early to late 2000s like cinema with horror movies. It's like we got to put a bunch of teens and young people in there as a group, so that way all the other teenagers who are in high school are gonna go and watch these movies now, and they're gonna be like, I don't want to travel. Like did that with Hostel, did that with I guess you can even put the Descent in there or like The Cave and like all these other things that we were talking about earlier. But yeah, I wasn't driving with it either. But there is one thing I want to say about this that I can't say about a lot of other early to late 2000 movies is that there's no fucking gray filter on this. It actually has color. And a lot of movies of that time, it's like, here's a bunch of grays and browns and have fun. This color. Because you kind of have to have color if you're going to be in a forest surrounded by flowers and stuff. You can't have that shit be doled out. So like the color palette for this film, I really dug. But I was trying really hard to get myself to want to be in the mindset to enjoy this movie. Yeah.
Yeah. So two things. One, all of the daytime outside shit was filmed with natural lighting, so that's why it's
That's
so
amazing.
Felt hot.
Yeah, it was appealing. You know, like you've seen the vibrant greens, the reds, the sweat on these people. But as to what you're saying about these teens being in this movie, and that is just the product of Hollywood in general, man, because look at the 80s. You have a bunch of 30-year-olds playing 17, 18-year-olds. And even today, like Alien Romulus is the best example because there's a bunch of kids going to deal with this alien problem. And it's like one of those things where they're trying to get more of a broader audience invested other than just, adults. And I get what you're saying though. Like you want to put a bunch of hunky teens together to go fight this fucking
hunky
problem.
boys.
Hunky boys. They are both very hunky. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, Sean Ashmore, dude, like as soon as he popped up, because he's the most likable person in this whole fucking movie.
I know, and he's supposed to be like the jock. Like typically, those characters are the ones you kind of hate. And same with Stacy, like she's the quote unquote slut stereotype. But man, she's the one I felt for the fucking most. And her acting was superb. Like she showed the pain, especially when they're cutting those vines out of her. When she wakes up in the tent and that vine is in that cut in her knee, that was something I didn't remember. I remembered bits and pieces, but the vast majority of this I did not. And that was one part I was like, oh my God. And then when she's like freaking out and she's like, "You're not listening to me," and she's like, "I can feel it," like she's just having like a total breakdown, a panic attack, everything, and then you see the vine like squiggle in her head, and the look, it just like sucks the oxygen off that temple, and she notices it too. She's like, "You saw it." Just her acting was so good, and I felt for her, and like, and then at the very end when it's like, I don't know, like taking over her brain, I guess you could say, she gets obsessed with it, and like they wake up from their nap, and she's been like cutting herself, like she's got filleting, like layers of flesh on her leg just hanging, and she's standing there in the sunlight in her underwear just like just carving, and then she ends up stabbing poor what was his name, Sean Ashmore, Eric.
Not don't fuck this Eric.
No.
Yeah, no, he's the good Eric.
He's the good Eric. Yeah.
This is Eric. Yeah. We'll say Eric with a K. We'll make him.
No, it's spelled the same way.
He wanted to try to go get help, and I'm just like,
yeah. No, I will say the quote-unquote body horror, because I guess we can kind of label this as like sort of like a body horror-esque
it really is
movie.
I think it's underrated.
They did really good with that. I mean,
I agree.
I want some more vinage and people's like eyeballs and shit coming out and like weird like Resident Evil-esque things. Oh yeah, I really did. But for what they were doing, and I don't know what the budget was for this film. I don't know if we have that anywhere.
I can find it.
But I feel like they did a really good job, especially during the part that you're talking about, Anna, with she's literally just like, I'm out of there. I'm out of this. There was another movie where something like that was happening with a girl, and she was just like cutting herself up with a piece of glass. I forget what movie it is, but
I think I know. Yeah, but I just can't.
Evil Dead.
Is it Evil Dead? It might be, or maybe there was another movie that was doing it, but it could have been Evil Dead. Could have been.
Maybe. But even like when Matthias, when he's like, "Oh, we got to amputate his legs," so they break his legs.
All right, I want to talk about that part in full.
They cut him off. I thought that was some good stuff too.
Yeah.
The vines start pulling his excess limbs off, dude. And then he had a bad death too. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
His whole character was tragic. Not only did he free fall fucking 40 feet and then break his back, they pick him up after that. And I'm like, y'all fucked it up even worse. That was the best part of this whole movie. The sound design in it
was great.
Was awesome. So this man's back is broken. He's covered up laying there. And what Anna brought up is when Stacy was like laying there, and she found the vine in her leg and was pulling it out. She wasn't the only one whose legs were fucking attacked. Yeah. They go and pull that blanket off of Matthias's fucking legs, and he is covered in these vines, and they are eating him. And I'm like, okay. And I brought this up during the descent. When they have to break his legs to amputate them, and we hear that bone crunching, I didn't know that bothered me until it happened, dude. And they're sitting there, whack! And I'm like, I'm about to throw up. I'm about to throw up. What the fuck, dude?
Yeah, but he can't feel anything, right?
He's
supposed to be paralyzed.
He's screaming. That's just because of visuals. I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude.
No, dude. He's losing it, too.
When they say he has nerve damage, I'm like, how would he know?
I know.
Because isn't he going to school to be a doctor? Isn't that the whole thing, too?
That's the point, though, they're trying to make, is he's not a doctor. He's going to school for it.
Yeah.
They're like, he doesn't know what he's actually fucking doing.
Yeah.
He's learning, and he takes that fucking cast iron skillet. So do you think that's seasoned? That cast iron skillet for whoever went up there next?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say it is.
Man.
But I dug it.
You brought up a good point, though, when you said his story is tragic. Because I actually wrote that in my notes about the whole movie. Like, I feel like this whole movie is just tragic. Like, an absolutely tragic fucking story.
But I like where the tone is set, though, is when the Amy and I think it's Amy and not Eric.
Jeff.
My name is Jeff.
My name is Jeff.
when they go down the temple and they're like, what the fuck are we doing here? Why are we here? And these people are like holding guns and holding them hostage. And she gets so pissed off that she grabs something and hurls it at them. And it nails this little kid that's standing there with him.
I know, dude.
When that sets the tone for the rest of the fucking movie. And they're like turning on this kid now because they know what's happening. The Americans don't know, and they're like telling this kid, hey, by the way, we have to do this now. Blammo! Yeah. Right in his face, dude. And
it's very tragic,
the mom is sitting there watching it. The mom is sitting there watching all this happen. Yeah.
It is so awful.
Yeah, it's a very... But again, like I said, it sets the tone. It tells us what we're in store for. Because the whole time that they're up on the top of this Mayan temple, they hear a cell phone ringing. And I didn't even think that was going to happen. Like, I didn't know where this was going. You know, like, I'm like, they found the fucking phone. That girl that they find in the vines, is that the girl from the cold open?
I would imagine so, yeah.
That was with the brother, Matthias's brother. Who they were trying to find. Because remember, they bring her up, they're like, where's she at, the girlfriend? Like, did she leave? Did she get away? She's the one that's down there.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, they fucking, and they have torches. Like, fire doesn't do anything to these fucking vines.
I know.
These things are probably older than, like, us, you know? It's probably been around forever.
And it's probably been generations of those people who've been salting this earth around this temple, keeping it at bay. Like, it's like part of their curse or something. Like, they're cursed to take care of this and not let it spread out into the world kind of thing. And I honestly love that we don't get any subtitles for what they're saying, because we are just as blind as they are, and we're kind of experiencing that fear with them because we don't understand at first. Like, why are they being kept there? What's really the fucking problem? You know, and so we're kind of, we don't know what's going on either, just right along with them.
Yeah. And I feel like that would give it away. Like, what's happening.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, dude, right off the bat.
Like, you know what other movie does that? What other movie does that very well at the very beginning of the movie? The Thing.
Oh, yeah.
When you're watching The Thing and that dude's running around screaming in Russian and they don't know what the fuck he's saying, unless you turn the subtitles on, you won't either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that's good because he's telling these people in The Thing, he's like, this is what happened to my outpost. This dog is not a dog. Like, he's telling them what's happening.
Yeah.
But we don't know because we don't speak his language. So, but I feel like you said that they're salting the earth and guarding this temple. I think it's their job to quarantine this. Like, it's been passed down in their village from generation to generation, saying, "Hey, this cannot leave here."
Yeah.
Or else.
Yeah.
You know.
No, one thing that I was hoping that they were going to do, going back to the little kid who gets brutally killed. Is they should have just picked up more of that shit and just chucked it at the rest of them, and they all would have been having to kill each other. Be like, oh, this is what we do.
Damn, that's a good
throwing
point.
Shit. I would have done that.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
Murked them all real quick.
And they all would have been like, oh, whoa, no, don't kill him.
No. They probably would have just shot him, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, more than likely. But I did like the little, what's the fucking word I want to use? They have the mold grow, the detail of like the mold growing all over them. The mold,
aesthetics.
And it's getting worse and worse and worse, dude. I love that. And he fucking slices Stacy open like 3 times. One time by her fucking kidneys, which I'm like, she's not walking around like she is, you know?
Yeah.
But man, Anna, I was pleasantly surprised.
Good, I'm glad.
With how fucking brutal this movie was.
I wrote that in my notes. Underrated body horror. Like I said at the beginning, I feel like young Anna, like 18-year-old Anna, did not appreciate this at that time. Like 36-year-old Anna, you know, almost double in age now, really appreciated this movie, this go around.
Yeah, and like Dustin said, it is a slog. Like it's slow, but it snowballs. Once it starts fucking rolling, it doesn't stop.
It just gets worse and worse and worse and worse.
Yeah. I'll say it definitely does do that. But for me, like it still just didn't hit all the way through. Like
That's
I
okay.
really appreciated like everything that happened and like the crazy ending and just like brutally like seeing her kill herself and then like putting Amy like covered in blood and using her as a putting her down and then using Jeff as a decoy and him sacrificing himself. That's pretty fucking badass. Like seeing that whole thing happen. But also, a lot of this movie, I felt like they could have just been like, let's just get to it, man. I know it's like an hour and a half. It's right at that sweet spot. But there was a lot of it was just like, I just don't care. Do I need to keep seeing him go back down there multiple times? I don't think
They
so.
got to get their steps in, man.
Shit, I'd be trying. I'd be
Yeah.
desperate. It's showing their desperation, and they're like trying to communicate with them somehow.
Yeah.
Let me
But,
ask you this: do you think that's the only staircase on this fucking temple?
See, I was wondering that too. Like, why couldn't they have gone down the back side? Were they surrounding them?
They
Or-
were. They did look on the other side, and I'm pretty sure there were people because I remember them saying, "Is this the only way down? There has to be more." And they showed another angle of it,
okay,
and they were
yeah.
on the other side. But I don't know.
But no, but what Anna was bringing up is when Stacy's like slicing herself open, like 'cause she can feel like the itch and the vines growing out of her and all this, and she's like cutting herself up, going fucking crazy, and she slices open Jeff's hand, and I feel like it's the blood that draws these creatures. To
I was
them.
thinking the same thing.
Or the vines, because that's how they attacked her, the wound. That's all they got.
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, and then Matthias's fucking legs. But when when Stacy's freaking out and she whips around and stabs fucking Eric in the chest,
Man.
I'm
Poor
like,
dude.
I'm like, if motherfucker Jeff let him go the night before, like he wanted to go get fucking help, that wouldn't have happened.
Well, he probably would have died though.
I don't know, man. I feel like they'd come up with something. But what got me is you see like the struggle that they're having with these plants and trying to save Eric's body, and to the point where they just can't. They have to give up because these plants are going to take them regardless. But
Yeah.
what I like the most is when you're looking up at the temple with the people who are guarding it, and you hear like the lady, Stacy going, "Kill me, just fucking kill me," and then you hear, and then it stops. I'm like, all right, it was effective, just as effective hearing it as it would be to see it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we seen her slice herself up. That was enough,
Yeah,
And
man.
dude. And it was fucking gross.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
It was gnarly.
It was beautiful, but it was fucking gross.
Yeah. No, there was a lot of like. I feel like the direction on this was really good, but I just don't know what it was about it that just didn't like draw me in all the way. I'm like, oh, I like seeing people get cut up. I like seeing people be
it's just
brutalized.
the
But
whole plant aspect. I know that's a little silly too. I mean, if you think about it at its core, it's a little silly. So maybe that's
it was
what.
giving me some like Jumanji vibes, Like I like
That's
that. a
true.
little
Oh
bit.
man, I love Jumanji.
Look at Gordy Belcher,
Oh yeah.
creep show, man.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm a going arena daddy.
Oh,
true.
Gordy, you lunkhead.
I think if we saw like this would just obviously take it to a whole different level. But if we saw like a giant fucking vine creature walking around and being like, oh, just eating everybody, I would have been like, that's dope. That's sick.
One last thing I want to talk about, and I think we can get to rating, is the last part of Matthias's death, because he had it just as bad as Stacy. Really, he had it worse.
Oh,
Is
man.
when those vines, they know the vines are smart enough to know that everybody else is distracted, so now's their time,
Yeah.
and they just all the vines just start going down his throat, just constantly. And it's just so gnarly. I just, there's no
It's-
words.
It's almost like drowning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're suffocating.
so-
Like it's.
What if it went up if they did it through the other end?
What if they went? Yeah, there you go. There you go. But Anna, if you were to pitch a sequel to this, like what would the sequel be? Like what would it like really entail? Like
I mean, it it could be the same premise. Maybe like one of the core four we've got there. Maybe one of them had a younger sibling that, we're talking like 5 years old at the time, and 20 years have passed, and
Sure.
maybe they grew up to be a scientist, and there's been rumors of these ruins for years. They go to try to, same. It would be the same setup. I think
Okay.
this is good one and done kind of thing.
Okay.
But
yeah.
I would also go see a sequel.
Yeah, but the only reason I bring it up is because, down here in Orlando we have Halloween Horror Nights, and there was a house one year where it was like an alien infestation that was plant-like took over.
Okay.
So, like, it took over this town, like, you see, like, what I would imagine if this thing got out, what would happen, which fucking happens to an extent because our final girl escapes, and the zinger is it shows her goddamn forehead. And you see them vines.
Yeah.
But man, like that, because she's the one that initiated this. That's where I feel like they should have drawn the line. Like they should have known. They should have like everyone who has touched these plants are in some shape infected.
Yeah.
In it, and like she's the reason old buddy got shot with the bow and arrow. Like she's the reason they are up there is because of her.
Yeah.
So selfish ass.
Sucks. Well, I think we can get to rating, fellas. Little D, we'll start with you.
Okay.
What do you rate?
I know I'm not sounding super happy about this one, but I did enjoy it. I did have some fun, and it was definitely different. It's a different pace than a lot of things we've been doing, and I like that a lot. I like changing it up. But for my actual rating, I'm probably going to give it like a 2.5 out of 5. I don't know if
Okay.
I'd watch this again. Maybe if it was just like the last like 20 minutes, I'd probably watch it. If there was a prequel, though, of how this happened, I might be a little more intrigued on that
Okay, yeah.
than seeing a bunch of goofballs just being like, there's a temple that we've never seen before. Let's go and investigate it on our last day before we go home.
White
I
people
don't know.
shit.
There you go.
I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah, I
But,
feel you.
2.5 out of 5.
Alrighty. Big D.
All right, so I'm kind of in the same boat as Little D, but when it comes to the one and done, like I don't feel like I need to revisit this movie, but the lasting impression it made on me from last night, this thing gets a 4.
Hell
Wow. For
yeah.
me. Like
Hell yeah.
I was not sold on it until the shit happened, and I'm like, okay, I'm fucking in.
Hell
And
yeah.
And seeing a sentient plant tricking people, one, the cell phone sounds,
Yeah,
two,
man.
mimicking what they're saying, getting into people's, like, there's a whole cheating aspect in this movie we didn't even touch, but
Yeah.
there's a whole rift, like, caused between the beetles.
I heard you moaning.
Yeah, what the fuck are you even talking about?
What?
So, yes, I would give this a 4 out of 5, but I've really, unless someone else wants to watch it, I probably won't go back to it.
That's fair.
But it was a fucking banger.
Hell yeah.
So, Anna,
makes
what
me
about you? What are you rating The Ruins?
I'm right there with you. I'm a 4 out of 5. I think, like you said it right. Like, this has a lasting impression because I do feel like this is just a sad story at the end of it. We really don't have any survivors. I mean, yeah, Amy gets away, but she's obviously infected, so we kind of know how it's going to go for the most part. So
Nuclear
it's just,
infected.
yeah, it's just sad. And but like I said, I didn't appreciate it then. I definitely appreciate it now. I think it's underrated body horror. I think the tension was great. Like all the body horror stuff was just awesome. It just kept getting worse. And like I said, I think all the actors, like they might have been teen actors of the day, but I think, even Jenna Malone, like she was in everything and she still pops up now. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah, Jenna Malone. Like she's a good actor. I don't think there was any bad acting in this movie whatsoever. If anything, they just elevated it and sold it for me. But yeah, I mean, I'm right there too. Like, I don't. It's kind of like with the Descent. Like, I know it's good, so I don't need to revisit it all the time. Like, it's gonna be always gonna be good to me. And it's. But if somebody said, "Oh man, I've never seen that movie," I'd be like, "Okay, hell yeah, let's watch it." That kind of thing. So
there's boobs in it.
Yeah, and they were worthy.
And butt cheek.
Yeah, she
blood.
would.
Both male and female.
Wow.
Yeah.
And loose
Guys,
limbs.
What? Well, first of all, this was a good movie to kick the month off with.
It sure was.
Yes.
Second, what do we have coming up soon that we're getting very excited about?
Ooh, you guys can kind of see it in the corner over here since I moved my camera angle. We are going to be covering, I forget what year it came out, but y'all know, Spawn. I am so amped for Spawn. This is my childhood in a bottle, dude. I love Spawn, and I've always loved the comics. And younger, seeing the movie, and obviously there's the animated series too, which is arguably better. But yeah, I'm so amped for that, and that's what we're going to be covering next week. Very excited.
Old Todd McFarlane, man. I got a lot to say about that movie.
Woo, me too. I'm excited.
Yeah. But
Big D, what else do we have coming up soon?
Collectively, at the end of April, we will all be in Salem together for Salem Horror Fest. All three of us in person. It's going to be fucking awesome. We are one of many verified sponsors for the event, so you're going to see our logo everywhere. It's pretty awesome.
Hell yeah.
We were also hooked up with Press Passes, so we really appreciate what they did for us with that. And it's just going to be a good time. They have a bunch of horror movies. There's a bunch of short films, which we're really excited about.
Wicked shorts, kid.
Fucking wicked, kid.
Wicked.
But just being in Salem plus being together is what we're most excited about.
Yeah, it's going to be
Anna's tiny microphones.
Yes.
Yeah, I got little tiny mics.
And there was one thing that I saw pop up that I sent you guys. I know Anna's excited for. Is a local haunt around me, Barrett's Haunted Mansion. They're doing a pop-up event over there too, where they're going to be doing a mini haunt. They're going to be showcasing some of their props and stuff for the year.
I'm excited.
I am excited as fuck.
It said like Halloween in May, pretty well. It's technically the 1st of May, like the first few days of May. But I think that's the way it's advertised, like experience Halloween in Salem in May. And I was like, this is perfect timing for our trip.
I'm so amped.
It's gonna be fucking sick, kid.
Hell yeah, fact.
Yeah. We also have a new shirt design out. If you guys are interested, go ahead. Anna has set up a Square site over on your Instagram, correct? Nerd at the Movies. Click that. It takes you right to the site. You can purchase the shirt from there. By the time we hit Salem, we should have our Tales from the Barrens design on a shirt. And it's going to be fucking sick. So all of those
shirt.
Sweater weather.
Sweater weather. Always. Sweater weather. Always.
All of the designs are courtesy of Derek Eyeball Soup, which he was on our last episode with Project Metal Beast.
It was so fun, yo.
Yeah.
Wah, wah.
All right. That's all I got, Anna. What else do you got?
Give Me Back's going great. It's also Anna April over there. The fellas are giving me my whole month now. It's a new tradition. New tradition over there. Girl. This being my first year, I was more people pleaser. I wanted to pick stuff that everyone was going to enjoy, and so far so good. The fellas are going to be coming on in a few weeks. I'm very excited for it. Technically Monday, but we record 2 weeks early for Give Me Back. So, I'm very excited. Little D's first time over there finally. Big D's
popping my cherry over there.
No,
don't say that around Pete.
Big D hangs out in the garage. Lives in the garage most of the time.
in the fridge, yeah.
Yeah, they have me shackled up in the attic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, things are going well. Big D, what you got going on? Flicks and be action.
So on Flicks and Friends, we will be when this comes out. The letter K is out for our AB season, and that is Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Hell yeah, I voted for that.
Yeah, it's so It was a ton of fucking fun. We had Logan and Becca from Video Villa Entertainment on.
Nice.
As for B Action, when this drops, we'll have the Guyver 2 will still be going strong, but the Saturday this is out, we'll be having a movie come out called Equalizer 2000. Yeah.
I think you showed us the yeah. Mm-hmm.
I did. It's an Italian action movie, and I'm fucking pumped. So,
let's go.
That's all we got. Little D, what do we got to do to get out of here, man?
Just as always, everybody, thank you so much for being here. And if you're on the audio platforms, go right ahead and give us a rating. Those are very, very important. Like, subscribe, share. That's also very important. And on YouTube, we're going very strong over there. We are getting a lot of subs almost every single week.
Awesome.
Our engagement on all the videos are going up. So we're doing something right. And it's all to everybody who's listening. And we can't thank you guys enough. And, you also support us over on Patreon for $1 a month. We get everything up to 1 week early.
$1, Bob.
So we just have a lot of fun over here. We get together every Wednesday, and it's honestly just, it's always so fun. And it's my favorite day of the week. My favorite day of the week.
Also, we do still have Yellow Jacket Season 3 going on. We've been doing 2 episodes at a time. Little D's been working a lot. I've been super busy, and it's just like the extra. My X-Files alarm just went off.
David Duchovny.
Mulder. I'm coming, Mulder. I'm wrapping up. So we've decided we're going to release, let's see, by the time this comes out. Oh, when this comes out. Wait.
The week this comes out, so that's Saturday.
The week this comes out, we'll have episodes 7 and 8 discussion out, and then we'll have 2 episodes left of the season, and it's over yet again.
But it's going strong. Like, Anna's getting a ton of traction on that, so it's fucking awesome.
It's super fun.
Patreon.
Yes. But that's pretty much all we got here. Make sure you guys subscribing and supporting the shows that they are also on. If you want more of them, because they are the best goofballs in the world. And I thank everybody who tunes in every single week, and for you guys to be here every single week. But on that note, we're going to get the fuck out of here and go explore our own ruins.
So we get to be like the Greek guys at the end of the movie that are supposed to be on the plane, but they end up going to look for their friend who has disappeared?
Yes.
Perfect.
We'll see you guys there. Have a good one.
Later.